Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Beamer. I'm here to read the story of the day. It is called Frankie in the Farmyard, and it goes with our theme, puppies. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? A handsome English bulldog looking back at me. Hi, I'm Franklin. They call me Frankie B. I am the one and the only me. Frankie in the farmyard, what do you say? Bark, bark, bark. I'm happy all day. Frankie in the farmyard, what do you do? I play with my friends. Want to know who? I wonder what friends are going to see. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? One miniature donkey looking back at me. Frankie in the farmyard, what do you hear? Why, hee-haw, hee-haw, you silly dear. Frankie in the farmyard, what does she do? She nibbles the weeds and cornflowers blue. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? A hen and a rooster, that makes two. Click, clock, cluck, a cock-a-doodle-doo. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Peck and scratch till the day is through. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? Three goats looking back at me. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they say? Bah, bah, while munching some hay. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Jump and climb to get a better view. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? Two geese, two ganders, that makes four. Want to know a little more? Frankie in the farmyard, what do you hear? Why, honk, 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 you silly dear. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Watch over their goslings. They are very new. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? Five slow turtles sitting on a tree. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they say? Shh, they're sleeping. I want them to stay. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Not much of anything, from my point of view. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? Four squirrels here and two over there. That makes six. Four plus a pair. Frankie in the farmyard, what do you hear? Chatter, 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 loud and clear. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Bury all the nuts, for winter is due. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? Seven pairs of eyes looking back at me. Ribbit, 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 that's a good clue. It's Freddy the Frog and his bullfrog crew. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Catch all the flies that bother me and you. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? 8 wild turkeys looking back at me. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they say? Gobble, 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 gobble. I think they want to play. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Sleep in the treetops? Turkeys? Who knew? Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? 9 worker honeybees buzzing around me. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they say? Buzz, 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 they are busy all day. Frankie in the farmyard, what do they do? Work in their hives, making sweet, sticky goo. Frankie in the farmyard, what do you see? Father is a drake and Mama is a hen and 8 little ducklings, and you have the number 10. Quack, 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 Mama keeps them in line. Father keeps them moving by swimming behind. Frankie in the barnyard, what do you see? All my farmyard friends, what else could we be? Frankie in the farmyard, what do you hear? Hee-haw, cluck-cluck, cock-a-doodle-doo. Bah, bah, from a goat or two. Honk, honk, honk. Shh, the turtles are sleeping, while all 6 squirrels are quietly creeping. Ribbit, 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 and gobble, gobble too. Buzz, buzz, quack, quack, and our day is through. Frankie in the farmyard, who do you see? It's wise old Owl sitting high in a tree. Frankie in the farmyard, what does he say? Why, hoo, 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 all night, not day. Frankie in the farmyard, what does he do? He speaks words of wisdom to me and to you. Frankie in the farmyard, what does that mean? Oh, wise old Owl, he's really quite keen. He watches over us, if you know what I mean. We're all very different from our heads to our toes. Some have a beak and some have a nose. Fur or feathers or leathery skin, wings or gills or a beard on the chin. We're all very different on the outside, you see, but deep on the inside, you're the same as me. I want to be loved, I know you do too, and belonging in a family or some crazy crew. Oh, farmyard friends, don't you see, we are all a blended family. Wise old Owl said, that's the best part, simply because it comes from the heart. No, it's not the end. It's just the beginning of more adventures with Frankie. I'm going to have to look into more stories about Frankie the Bulldog. And do you know why I picked this story? Because it's puppies and Mrs. Beamer has 2 bulldogs. So I'm going to go look online and see if I can find more books about Frankie. Hope you enjoyed.